All right, sorry folks. I screwed up yesterday and didn't turn my mic on. When I make the movie, I use an external mic on the movie review of the tournament, and so to use the just the screen recording, which I do on the classes, I need to turn the mic back on, the internal mic back on. That might change in the future. Here, I'm thinking about adding a better mic, but as a result, yesterday's movie had no sound. It wasn't your system, and I apologize for anyone who got frustrated about it. And thank you, Ken, for writing to me and letting me know. And I've removed that, and I will redo some of the hands here. Unfortunately, I lost one of them, but maybe we'll look at a different one that I played this morning in place of it just for fun. Um, so here we go. Let me load up a hand. One of the things we were talking about yesterday was um, just 2 seconds, so fun. Was opening leads against suits, and here's the second hand that we did yesterday. We were sitting west. So we'll throw robots into these seats, and they should behave for me. All right, South opens one no trump, 16. So the way I do it, when somebody opens one no trump, I immediately just add my points to it, so that process of counting points is easier once I see the dummy, which is usually the person opposite the one no trump opener. So I'm thinking, okay, 20 points between South and West. We get a Stayman bid showing 4 hearts. They go to 4 hearts, and we can assume here that, like I said, I have 20. It looks like North has 10, so my partner has some values, right? He has perhaps 10, perhaps less if North is stronger. But I know that he has some points, in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 points. And this is important because when I look at what to lead here, right, I have to make a consideration of whether it is wise to lead a stiff. There are lots of times where you do not lead a stiff, even if you have one. And someone yesterday said that they had a nursery rhyme, one I hadn't heard before, which is, if you don't lead one, you don't have one, which is got a nice ring to it, but I just completely disagree. You should not lead a stiff if your partner doesn't have any points. You should not lead a stiff if you have natural trump tricks. Okay, so you need to have at least some trump tricks, some trump in your hand that are not going to take tricks unless you get them by way of a ruff. And you should not lead a stiff if your partner is sitting up over there with no way to get into the play, because he's the one that's going to have to lead you the diamond back. A third thing to think about is whether you have a high trump. Right? Now, the thing about having the ace of hearts here would be that I know that I could lead the 5 of diamonds, and if my partner happens to not have the ace but have the king, right, then at least I can, or has another entry anyplace else, at least when the opponents start to pull trump, I can take the first trump with the ace, find my partner in another suit, right? Find my partner in another suit, and then get a ruff back. Right? So there's a lot to think about before you just lead a stiff. Right? Leading a stiff without any hope of making something out of it is just meaningless. Right? And leading a stiff is an active defense. Right? You are trying to get your ruffs. So if at any time a passive lead would have made more sense, then your stiff lead that has absolutely no chance of getting a ruff was a dumb lead. Okay, so if you don't have one, if you don't lead one, you don't have one, forget that nursery rhyme. It makes no sense whatsoever. Um, and I could see how that could get passed down, like return my lead. Um, but here, I know my partner has points. I know my partner has points. And if I happen to catch him with the ace of diamonds, then I can use my otherwise useless trump over here to take a trick. So that's why I start with the diamond here. And indeed, my partner has the ace of diamonds. Now, as a matter of carding, and I don't know that the robots do this, but if that was a live person over here, right, who recognized that that was my card was a stiff, and thinks that we can get two roughs, right, if they have another entry, should give me a suit preference lead. Okay, and this is a matter of carding. You lead low if you want the lowest of the two remaining suits. You lead high if you want the highest of the two remaining suits. Now, to me, looking at my cards, it's pretty obvious I'm going to lead a club back anyways because I don't expect my partner to have a spade winner unless he's void, right? And then we'd be getting into a cross rough, but I don't see that happening. So I'm going to lead a club back. And as it turns out, that's what a live person would have done as well because they had the ace of clubs. So they would have led a low club to me, which allows them to lead another diamond back to me for a heart. And then we're pretty much done. I don't know what else that we're going to get. Um, Partner won with the ace, which certainly means he doesn't have the king because as a matter of carding, you win with the lowest of touching equals. Right? So I know I'm not getting anything there. Maybe he has a high heart. Maybe there's a guess there. I don't know. But as it turns out, and I'm not going to play it through, I'll play one more. We know they're getting the club king. And there it is. And they had the queen as well. So they'll pitch a spade or just rough. And the only way that I'm getting a trick is if for some reason they cash out the ace. But we know that's not going to happen. Or it's a guess here and they guess wrong. But this hand is over. All right. So the points gave us, by counting the points, we could see that our partner had some, right? We knew he had at least 8, maybe as many as 10. How many did North have? 4, 10, 11, 12, right? I said he would have 10. And when partnerships bid to a game after a 1-no Trump Open and don't look for slam, we've talked about this before, then the response hand is usually under 16 points. Okay? So that's sort of your margin there, 10 to 16. And here he had 12, leaving my partner though with some space to have some points. And I was able, in lay of the cards, there's nothing brilliant about this. He just happened to have among those points that we knew he would have. He happened to have the ace of diamonds and the ace of clubs, with the result that he had 2 entries, and all he had to do was lead back to me in a manner that would show me that he had the ace of clubs. He did that by leading well. All right. Next hand, I believe, is this one. See, the other problem I'm having is I can't reconstruct exactly what we did yesterday because to keep all of these defense hands that I've lined up for the next month, to know where I stopped, I'm just kicking them out. I'm just erasing them because I have them saved elsewhere. But fortunately, I don't have them for today. But I believe that this was the hand. We'll see in a minute. If not, we'll get something out of it. Hard opening. 4-card limit raise. Going to game. Okay. No look for slam by South, so they're probably in the neighborhood of 13, 14 points. Happy to go to game over North, showing less than a game forcing hand. More than constructed, less than game forcing. I have 6, 7, 8, 9 points, and if we add that to the 25, 26 points that North South presumably have, then we're looking at 25, 30, 34. Our partner having maybe 6 points or so. Okay, so we know our partner has something. On opening lead, then we have to make a decision on which way to proceed. Oh, I remember the holding in the other one now. Maybe we'll find it. because I remember what I held, and it wasn't this. So I have to make a choice here. Do I want to lead passively or do I want to lead actively? And as we'll discuss more and more as we go through the next month, right, there are basically two types of defense. The general, right, sort of a general two types of defense, active or passive. And we're going to start identifying when we want to be active and when we want to be passive. Generally speaking, we want to be active when we think that they have a strong hand, they've got their 10 tricks, and if we're going to get anything, we need to get them right away. Kind of like leading that stiff, right? If we led passively there, they pull trump, we never get to set that contract. Here they certainly have, we know they have 9 hearts, and that means that they have at least 9 hearts. Chances are we're 2-2. 5-4-2-2. And we have this interesting spade suit, and we have this interesting club suit, and we have this interesting diamond suit. And why are they interesting? Because anytime we're sitting 4th seat, anytime North is leading one of those 3 suits, then we have a chance of taking a trick. And the flip side of that is every time we're in on lead and we have to lead one of those suits, we're likely giving away a trick until we know exactly what our partner might hold, right? If we lead the diamond here, the 5 of diamonds, what are we doing, right? We're under leading a queen, and who knows if our partner has what our partner has. If he happens to have nothing, and we probably aren't hurt, but if we lead, for instance, if we underlead the king of clubs, we might be giving the queen of clubs to the declare, when otherwise he might be having to take a finesse. Right? So in this hand, all of these leads in the side suits are really unattractive to me. And all I want to do is get out of my hand and hope that I get a trick when these suits are led to me. And then hopefully that by that time I have an idea of where my partner's points, right, 6-7 points, might be. He could have less than that even. He could have 5. I think he has points. So he could have 5, 6, 7, 8 points depending on the distributions of the hand. So here, a passive lead, right? And I'm doing this not because I can't think of anything else, so I might as well lead a trump. I'm thinking that the most passive lead I can make on this hand, where every other lead would be active, is to simply lead a trump, and that's what I'm going to do. So if we stop right here, how am I going to do that? Can I get this guy out to get him to stop? Yeah, okay. So I led the heart, and the jack wins. So pretty clearly my partner didn't have any of his points in hearts. So the ace, king, queen, jack were held by the declare. And he has the ace, queen, ace and queen, right? The jack won, ace, queen. So there's 6 of his 14 odd points. We have the ace of spades here, right? To our left, we don't know where the queen of spades is. And the queen of spades is a trick that we might be interested in. We have the king of diamonds. We don't see the ace of diamonds or the jack of diamonds. And that is a possibility for us as well. Right? And finally, we have a club suit where it's unlikely that, we might get the king because they're leading the queen. The king is either in the ace is either in my partner's hand or the ace is in South's hand. Right? If we hold the ace, we can get 2 club tricks. If they hold the ace, at least we can get a club trick unless South can somehow get rid of the 5 of clubs in the dummy. So I'll put the robot back in. Let's do some counting as we proceed. I'll get the king of clubs, right? Like I said, I wanted to be 4th seat all the time, having these suits led to me. So what do we want to do now? Do we want to get active yet? Not really. Right? We still have one more way to get out of our hand safely. We know my partner doesn't have any heart hunters. So I can get out of my hand again. Okay. This time he'll be leading through me. He takes his ace of clubs. leads another. Which he roughs. There's the jack of clubs from my partner's hand. And once North is back in, sure enough, he has to lead again to me. So I'll get the king of spades. Now, what do I lead here? Now it gets a little bit more difficult. Am I just outright guessing? Um, as to what my partner has. We can now see all the spade honors, and we've seen all the heart honors. Right? We know that South and North declare had all the heart honors. We can now see that I have the jack of spades sitting underneath the ace of spades. Sitting underneath the ace of spades. And declare's shape, so far, as we've seen, is 5 hearts, and he's played 2 clubs. And he has played 1 spade. So I'm not sure here. I don't want to lead the spades. The 10 of clubs is going to give him a pitch out of his hand, unless my partner happens to have an honor there. I still don't want to underlead the queen. My partner could have the ace of diamonds. He could have the jack of diamonds. I'm going to lead the club. I'm not sure this is good. Right? See, the problem was always going to be leading out of my hand. My partner didn't have any, so turns out, and he played a diamond instead. So now, unfortunately, it looks like South is going to have a club trick or two. But they have to lead a spade again, so 2 spades, 5 hearts, 2 spades, and he's got to lead a diamond. And there's my partner's honor. He leads back a diamond again, and it turns out by letting them have to break the diamond suit, we managed to take 2 diamond tricks. That's all we'll get. Let's look at that. This is what's called a frozen suit, right? No, not actually. I could have, I don't want to give away the jack of diamonds is the problem, right? What if I'd led the 5 of diamonds, right? He ducks, partner goes up with the ace, and now they're left with the king jack of diamonds, and I only have the queen of diamonds, which is now finessable. And at that point, robot will be out, right? So he'll only lose 1 diamond trick. So by avoiding the diamonds, we did good. Right? Eventually, he had to try to play the diamonds, and look at that suit, right? King third in the dummy, Jack Doubleton. This is not a suit you want to play on your own. You want the opponents leading that suit. Right? So it was good for us to avoid the diamonds. If we'd led the club, sure enough, we would have given him the queen. Right? Instead, he had to take a losing finesse to our king. And the spades, we had a similar situation. While he has the ace of spades, we have the king jack sitting over the queen. Excellent, right? So he can't do anything there. So this is a hand that calls for a complete passive lead, right? I've got points, I've got interesting things, but I can't make them happen myself. I need to be led to. And in this case, had we led from any of those suits, we would have given the declarer an extra. Right? I claimed wrong there. He was only down 1. All right. Let's see. I think we then jump to 3rd seat. So let me get out of 3rd seat, out of the 1st seat here. 2nd seat, I guess. I know we call this one 3rd, but I always stumble over what we call opening, the person with the opening lead. In theory, it should be 1st seat, the first to play the trick, so we'll call it 1st seat. So now we'll go over 3rd seat. Now, there's a big difference between being the opening leader and being the person sitting in the 3rd seat, and that should be obvious, which is the opening leader only sees 13 hands, 13 cards. But when you're sitting in 3rd seat, you get to see 26 cards because the dummy has come down, right? So the person who is best able to judge what type of defense to mount will be the person in the third seat, always, right? And they consider what the lead means. That's part of the consideration in deciding what to do, right? They're going to be looking at the lead, and because we are going to be talking about standard leads, he'll have some idea of what to do with that suit, right? But another nursery rhyme that we want to completely disabuse ourselves of is return my lead. If you ever see that on somebody's profile, return my lead, what you'll want to do is not play with that person because they don't understand the nature of bridge. They're at a level that you are trying to get out of. You're trying to rise above, right? Where you rely on rules and nursery rhymes that you got to do this all the time. Always second hand low, always third hand high. Return my lead. If you don't lead one, you don't have one, which is a new one to me, but I'm really fond of that one. I love that phrase because it's so obviously wrong. And so, anyways, but when we turn to the third seat, we actually have a lot more responsibilities. I mean, there are days I just feel like opening leads are a crapshoot, right? And I have no idea whether it's going to work out or not. In third seat, though, we have obligations. We really have to think it out. I believe we will be third seat here. Yes, okay. So this is a similar auction to last time, a 4-card limit raise here, now in North. In North again. I don't have anything to bid, and we get 4 hearts. So here we are. Similar situation, there's probably 25, 26 points in North-South. Could be a couple more because no one went looking for slam. And 5 points in my hand. So we've got a situation where a partner could have upwards to 10 points. Partner can have upwards to 10 points. Now this can be a little goofy because it's the robot leading, but I will tell you that one thing the robot does well on lead is lead passively. He also loves to lead to get roughs. See what he's up to here. We get the 6 of hearts. The 6 of hearts. Oh, that's because we're on the same hand. Sorry about that. It did look a lot the same, didn't it? Forgot to change the slapstick comedy. Oh, but we get the same bid. 1 heart, 3 hearts. This time I have a far more interesting hand, though. Let's see if they go to game. They do. Right? So now I got 6, 8 on top of their 25. 33, my partner's looking at about 7 points. Maybe a little less. Maybe a little more. 7-ish, let's say. But he's got something. And he leads the 9. Now, as a matter of carding, one of the things that I'm going to stress to you is to disabuse yourself of yet another rule. And that is Boston on opening leads. Now, if you haven't heard that phrase before, Boston is an acronym, which means on opening lead bottom of something or top of nothing. BOSTON, right? That's a terrible thing to do, right? But nonetheless, we do it as beginners, and when we're playing with beginners and intermediates who are unthinking, we get away with it. But against any advanced players, that's a bad idea. From 3, lead low. Okay, you're going to have these carding agreements with your partners, and this is one I would stress that you do. Now, you doesn't deny having something in that suit if you lead low, but you would lead low from 3 as well. And what that does is gives you a clue on opening lead only. This is the only place we're talking about this. That means if your partner leads high, a high spot card, right, then he either has a stiff or a doubleton, because otherwise he would be leading low. Right now, maybe he'd have something special here, but we know that isn't the key. Isn't leading like from King Jack 9 because we can see the King Jack and we can see the Ace Queen. We know this is a suit in which I have 5. There's 2 in the dummy, and the 9 is either a stiff or a doubleton. And we know that because he would have led low from 3, but we agree that we will lead the top of doubletons. And that's the agreement I want to have throughout this class, and it's a good place to start until you're playing some other wild and crazy carding systems. Okay, so this is a doubleton or a stiff. North has the king jack, and West has really sort of pinned this suit purely out of the happenstance, right? He happened to have a doubleton, right? He didn't do anything special on lead except lead a doubleton. So that means that I can take the queen. I also know where the 10 is because this is a double. If this is a doubleton, so I know the 10 is in south. So I basically know the whole suit. Let's see if we can actually figure out this whole suit. Ace queen, ace king, queen jack, 10, 9, 8. The 7 is missing. There's the 6, 5, 4, and the 3, 2 are missing. I'm going to win it with queen. We'll see one of the low cards here. Oh, there's the 7. So he probably has one of these small ones. And what I need to do is somehow get back to his hand. Right? That would be sweet to be able to get back to his hand. I don't need to. If it's a doubleton, I take that back. What we'll do is we'll play the ace now, knowing that's a doubleton, and we're going to give him a ruff. Right. He's going to need one more trick, right? But he's got some points over there. I just don't know how to get to him. And I want to give him the ruff now anyway, so I'm going to give him the ruff. What do I want led back? Well, I want a club led back. Why? Because it leaves a club back. I can cover the queen. I'm promoting my 10, right? And who knows? Maybe in the end game, the 9 of clubs will win a trick. So I'm going to lead low back. This is a matter of carding. I better do it in the spade suit. Showing where to lead low. If my partner has a top honor, he'll set the contract after he takes this ruff. So he ruffs and leads the club back. Well, wasn't that nice? And interestingly, I don't even need to go up over the top of it. Well, could he be leading from the ace king? Nah, I can't win this trick. So I'm going to let him play one of the high honors and clubs. And what I'm pondering is where are my partner's points? He's got something. And right now it's got to be diamonds, right? Unless he happens to have a high heart. I don't know why he wouldn't have played it there. But then again, if he's got the ace, it's always winning. So he doesn't have that. And there's the king. Now I can ruff out the other club if he wants to. Crosses over. Spades are dead. Right? Yeah, because they were 5, 3, 3, 2. And leads the diamond. So this is where my partner needs to have something, right? And this is another situation where, I didn't go busting into the diamonds and West didn't go busting into the diamonds. And we let Declare have to puzzle it out. Right? And clearly he has lots of diamonds because he was able to let that run around to the king. So he has the top honors and the hand's over. Yep, he was just missing the king. So we set it. And we set it by knowing exactly what was in the hand. I'll make sure that I do this right this time. We set it by 1, and we did it by being able to read the lead. Okay? The lead was the 9 of spades, and per our agreement, right, that means a doubleton or a stiff, right, because he leads low from 3. So we're able to win the hand with a queen, play the ace, get a ruff, and then we just went passive. I asked for a club lead because I'm trying to promote something. Clubs, obviously, it's not going to happen here when my partner has 5 clubs, right? But it's a safe lead, right? It doesn't do any harm. If he decided, well, I got to score my king of diamonds, I better drive out the ace and let a diamond, right? Then he gives away a trick to the opposition. So the key here is to understand the carding. Don't go breaking new suits that are dangerous. And we were able to communicate that back and forth. Me by giving him a low suit preference signal when I gave him the rough by leading low. All right? So that was not in the hands that we did the other day. But that said, it made me remember what I was holding in the hand that we played. So let me see if I can find it in my notes. Not looking good. I don't remember. All right, so that's two hands. We lost one already. And that brings us up to date. So I lost two hands that we had done yesterday. I've given you two, one of them that's apparently different. Sorry about that. Some of the same thoughts, though, same teachings, just a different hand to make the point. I had a hand this morning that was interesting. We'll throw this in. If I can find it. Yeah, this is it. This is north and south on defense, and I think I should be in north. The only issue is whether or not I was sitting east on this hand. I was allowed to make this hand when I shouldn't make. So let's see if we can get this to work. It's going to require the robot to make a bid that might not be a good bid. All right, one spade, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. I bid one no trump, which is forcing. And there it is. And East enters with a 2 heart, and they pass and let me play 2 hearts. Okay, now what they need to do is set this hand. And robot starts with the king. Now, when you're playing with the robots, an important thing to remember is that their carding is different when they have ace-king. We play that you generally lead the ace, except where it's a doubleton, and some other more finer points we can talk about later. But the robots, when they lead the king, it means they have the ace. And especially since I have the queen here, I know they're not leading from queen, king, queen. Right? So I play the queen here. Oh, and I should be in the other seat. Stop. How can I stop this? And he gives me a rough. I want to switch to the other seat because it's the other seat that needs to do this. All right. So I lead the ace and partner lets me keep it, right? So now I need to think about what this means to the hand. Wes started with 4, right? And I started with 5. My partner had a singleton queen of spades. So what do we have? We have 5, 4, 3 in east, and 1 in north. Which means I can lead spades again safely and give my partner a rough. So let's do that. Oops, I'm going to take that back if I get a chance. No. Yes, okay. What suit do I want back? I want the ace of clubs back. So I'm going to lead low, saying that's where you could find me again if you want an entry. All right, there we get the rough. He cashes out the ace of diamonds. Plays the queen. Unfortunately, he didn't do what I want him to. Let's see what happens next, though. Yeah, he didn't do it. All right, so it's kind of a difficult defense. I'm going to show it to you double dummy. I'm wishing I didn't go down this road earlier. Load it back up again. Try not to look in east-west hands that much because it just gets confusing. That's one of the reasons why I use the robots a lot, is so that we can focus just on the hands we're going to be seeing in the game. But here we go. So I'm south, and I open a spade. Partner bids one no trump, forcing no trump, and the robot comes in with two hearts, which we pass to let him play. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but that's what the robots did earlier, for what it's worth. And now I'm looking at my leads here. So I know that I've got these two tricks, the ace king, and it seems like nothing can go wrong if I'm leading those, right? In a way, this is a passive lead. While I am scoring my tricks right away, I'm not doing any damage to myself by doing it. I will lead the ace of spades, and partner plays the queen of spades. Okay? So there are two things that the queen of spades can mean when they follow to the ace, which is, if you need to get to me, you can lead. If you need, I have the jack, and if you need a lead through, you can lead low to me. That's a carding thing. The other thing that it can mean, obviously, is that it's a stiff, which I catch on to quickly here, and I take another one. Okay? And now I have to decide whether or not to give him his rough. Right? Because I'm a little worried. I know that there's two over here. I know at this point when he shows out that it was 5, 4, 1, 3. Right? So I know that after this one he's out, which means the jack will be high. I lead low to let him know he can get back to me in clubs. And that's what he does here. Right? Now the question is, do I give him another rough? Do I give him another rough, knowing that he's going to get over-roughed by east? And to know whether to give him another rough or not, I need to look at my trump and think about his trump. Right? If I switch suits here and give him his diamond, then that will be 5 tricks. Right? But that might be all we get, because on the jack of spades, which is now get double trump, on the jack of spades, he will now pitch a losing diamond. Okay? You don't get there somehow. It makes if you don't do this. But if you lead a spade, lead low, you're leading low because you're saying play the highest rough with the highest card you can, which here will be the 8. That means that east would have had to over rough with an ace, king, or queen. And if he does that, look at your cards, look at your trump. Jack 10, 4. If he goes up with the ace, now you get the jack of hearts, which is why he pitched a club here. Right? He recognized that this was trump promotion. This was simply trump promotion. I was going to promote my trump by having my partner rough high, forcing this hand, which I knew was void in spades, to get out, to go up. And notice the other thing that would have happened. Had my partner, had I not led the spade here, now the jack of spades is a winner. Right here, I knocked out the jack of spades. I promoted my jack. Or I would have promoted my jack if he had over-roughed. East Robot, recognizing that it was over, chose not to give me that, and instead pitched another card that he was afraid of losing. And now, of course, we can take the ace of diamonds and set the contract. Okay? So that's a defense that's called trump promotion. And that falls into the category of a defense based on scoring our trump tricks. That's called trump promotion. Anyways, so that's what I have for the class movie. Sorry very much about the video not having sound, and hope you didn't struggle through it without sound, or that you wasted your time trying to figure out how to turn on the sound. We will be back on Saturday for the tournament. The tournament is at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find it in the competitive tab on the home page under BBO points. Just scroll down there, look for my name or look for Next Step Pairs or the Bill Manager as the person running it. And I appreciate um, anything you can do to spread the news on that tournament, um, uh, because I get a little piece of it, and it's nice. It covers my BBO money habit. um, Anyways, till Saturday, if anybody needs a partner, email me. And thanks for showing up in class and being so involved. It's really fun. I'm having a great time with it. We'll go another to the end of February on defense hands, hopefully trying to get more than 3 of them in a week. And then I've got a little surprise, I think, coming in March. All right, until later.